Hello, my name is Tyler Dowling, and this is my disciplinary literacy lesson plan for Education 443. So, hello. Today we are going to be discussing and looking over the Bill of Rights. As we guys have been talking about the Constitution. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments of the Constitution that were created as a part of the Massachusetts Compromise in order to get multiple states to okay the ratification of the U.S. Constitution during the Constitutional Convention. It's one of those major compromises that we've been discussing in class. And so let's start out by first off discussing the definitions that we're going to be looking at. So first off, we have where is it? Okay, we have Constitution. So Constitution is a body of fundamental principles or established precedents according to which a state or other organization is acknowledged to be governed. So pretty much, it's a set of rules that any government, when it's being created, has to follow in order to make sure that they have a sort of that the public is trusting them. So the public's going to trust them more if they know that there's set rules that the politicians have to follow. So the second one is a right. A right is a power or privilege that is recognized by tradition or law. So, the Bill of Rights is basically just a layout of a bunch of rights that the Founding Fathers saw as being very pivotal to making sure that the country that they were creating was set in freedom, that they had basic freedoms that could be utilized by the everyday citizen. And so today, we're going to be looking at the Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights, of course, being the first 10 amendments. There's over 20 amendments now. They've been slowly added throughout the years. And so it started out with these first 10 amendments, which if we look back while we're reading today, we can see a lot of the stuff that we learned during the material that we learned on the Revolution. A lot of that stuff affected what we see in these Bill of Rights. So what you guys are going to be doing today is reading these Bill of Rights, and then after that, you're going to be making your own amendments. But these amendments, they're not going to be for, the country. They're going to be for just, this classroom. What you guys think you need in the classroom to make you feel safe. So I'm going to start off by kind of helping you guys understand what the amendments look like and give you a gist of how an amendment is laid out. So this is the amendment. This is the third amendment, which is one of the shorter ones. And so the the language that it is used in the Constitution and in the Bill of Rights is very full of legal verbiage. It's a lot of very clunky words. It's not the way that we speak nowadays. It's a very old-timey way of talk. And so it can be very difficult to understand. And so if you guys look on your Google Classroom, there's two links. There's one link, first off, they are both to archives.gov. This is an amazing website where you can access all these different major documents that we'll be discussing throughout this class. So the Declaration of Independence you can find on there. The U.S. Constitution you can find on there. The Bill of Rights and a bunch of other stuff like the Emancipation Proclamation. All these major pivotal documents are on archives.gov. And so there's two links to archives.gov. There is one that is just a plainly written down Bill of Rights. It is the exact words that are used in the original Bill of Rights. There's a second one that is a little, if you're struggling with the words, because it is really difficult to read these, there's a second one that uses more plain language, more modern day verbiage to explain out what rights are being protected. I want you guys to try at first to at least try to understand, because what you guys are going to be doing is you're going to be pulling what right. You're going to be writing down what right is protected in each of these. And so I want you guys to try to use the original language ones at first. But if not, you can use the other ones to assist you. Just try to make a connection on how this old-timey language translates into the modern language. So, this Third Amendment says, no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed to law, or by law. Okay, so this one's a pretty easy one to see what the right is. No soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war. So the right that is being protected here is for the owner of a house not to be forced to house a soldier. Because if we look back at one of the major issues that people before the revolution had was that all these soldiers that they had coming into the 13 colonies to kind of get the colonists to follow the laws of the king, they were forced to be quartered in these different people's houses. They didn't really have a choice, and they were just told, hey, I'm a soldier of the king. I'm here. I'm using my right as a soldier of the king to live here. And they didn't have a choice. And so this right protects you from having to house a soldier in your house. Granted, you can allow people to live in your house. There's been plenty of cases of that throughout the years. But you cannot legally be forced to house someone in your home. So, if we look at this, we can see how they used a lot of really plain or really long-winded terms. So the way we might write it is no soldier can live in a person's house without permission. But in this, it's no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner. And so the reasoning for this is kind of legal verbiage. The reasoning that it has this type of tone is it's trying to make sure that there is no open loopholes in the law. So, we might write something down that says that, we might put no soldier shall live in a house without consent. But that might be, that doesn't clarify that it's not during a time of war or a time of peace. This is clarifying that during a time of peace, you cannot, and then during a time of war, that has to be prescribed by law. And so there's a lot of weird legal verbiage to either make it so there's no loopholes, or make it so that amendments are very broadly worded, so that people have more wide ranges of rights. They're more broad in what rights are protected. So, what you guys are going to be doing today is, once you read all these and get an idea of how the verbiage is used, or what type of language is used in the Bill of Rights, you guys are going to write your own amendments of rights that you want protected in the classroom. Okay. So I'm going to write a right that I want protected in the classroom. Oops, made a little mistake. Okay. Okay, so no student shall use a cellular device unless given direct permission from the teacher. And so I've kind of used some choice language in order to make certain parts more broad and certain parts more exact. So no student, so any student, doesn't have to be a student of this classroom, just any student, that's a broad part, shall use a cellular device. I do not put their cellular device, or I leave it broad. I say use a cellular device. I could put any cellular device, unless given direct permission from the teacher. So I'm making it so it's direct permission from me, so that you can't ask somebody and get permission. You need direct permission from the teacher. So that's kind of the gist of the type of language that we need to use when we're writing these Bills of Rights today. I'm not looking for super old law language. There's some of these that I don't expect all of you to be able to find the meaning behind each of these amendments without using the aid website. That website will definitely need to be used for a couple of them, because they use a lot of really weird law language. And so it's going to be very difficult. So you guys pretty soon here are going to start reading. Once you guys finish reading, I want you guys to each pull out a paper. Once you are finished and somebody finishes with you, you can start working with them. But you're going to be reading individually. And you're going to, after you're done reading, work on writing at least 2 lessons, at least 2 amendments that you think, or of rights that you think should be protected in the classroom. Okay? And so once we're done with that, we'll have a quick discussion about what we've read in the Bill of Rights today and what we've kind of taken away from it, and any fun amendments that you guys have written today. So that's all. Thank you.